The Substance is hitting theaters this weekend, and ooh, man, let's talk about it. This video is brought to you by Mando. Go to shopmando.com and use promo code Dan for a special offer, and stay tuned after the video for more info. Hello everybody, I'm Dan Murrell, and this is my review of The Substance, which is one of the craziest movies that I've ever seen. It's the second film from director Coralie Fargeat and a follow-up to 2017's Revenge, which was on my top 10 list following its release in 2018. And now with this second film, The Substance, Coralie Fargeat has cemented herself as a director whose work I want to see going forward as soon as humanly possible. This is a movie that won the Best Screenplay Award at the Cannes Film Festival this past summer, and it's generating some awards buzz for star Demi Moore's performance, and rightfully so. Moore plays Elizabeth Sparkle, an aging former movie star whose biggest legacy is a TV fitness show that's well past its prime. And in the opening seconds of the film, we get a wonderfully executed metaphor as we see the unveiling of Elizabeth Sparkle's star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and then we watch it literally fade over the years until it becomes just another part of the Hollywood sidewalk. When Elizabeth finds out her sleazy network executive, who's played by a maniacally unhinged Dennis Quaid, is looking to replace her, she seeks out a solution and finds it in a mysterious drug called the Substance. Taking the Substance causes you to literally birth, in a grotesquely unorthodox way, a younger, quote-unquote, better version of yourself, but it also comes with a Gremlins-esque set of rules. First of all, your other self has to stabilize every single day with a syringe full of spinal fluid that's pulled from the original person called the Matrix. And this is very important, you can only stay in each body for 7 days exactly. And it's important to note that this isn't a case of transformation. It's not like one person is transforming into another. There's literally two different people. You don't have the memories of the other person, and while one person is walking around, the other one is unconscious on the bathroom floor being fed liquid food through an IV. And of course, as with any story where there are absolutely unbreakable rules, the rules are inevitably bent and broken with life-altering consequences for both the original self and the newer, younger, better version. Sparkle's other self is named Sue, and she's played by Margaret Qualley in a performance that I think will be a milestone for her career. Sue is indeed very attractive, and the camera lingers on her body for nearly every second that she's on screen. She's shot through what a lot of film studies experts would probably call the male gaze. But given that Coralie Fargeat is a woman, that's not exactly what I think is going on here. I think that Sue is shot through the eyes of society. But the point that's being made with this film is that, especially in an industry where attractiveness is rated above any other quality, society's gaze is the male gaze. And as aware as Sue is that she's captured it, Elizabeth is aware that that gaze has drifted away. This is also a milestone performance in Demi Moore's career. It is utterly fearless. And as Moore is asked of her with each passing switch between bodies, she rises to the occasion each and every time. I'm not sure if awards voters are going to be able to get past the extreme nature of this movie and the fact that it's just so weird in order for Demi Moore to get to the Oscar race or any of the other major awards races. But I think that's really an indictment on the award system more than it is on this movie. I hate that the idea of a movie not being mainstream enough or too weird or too gross even plays into it. I mean, awards themselves are somewhat silly, but this is a performance that is one of the year's best and should absolutely be recognized. But it is very true that this is absolutely not what you would call a mainstream film. As Kyle Reese once said of The Terminator, it can't be reasoned with, it can't be bargained with, it doesn't show pity or fear or remorse, and it absolutely will not stop. The Substance is a societal commentary on how the entertainment industry, and by extension society, values and devalues women, and judges all people based on societal standards of beauty and attractiveness, but it's not content to just make the point. It takes that point and continually raises the stakes to a degree that reaches operatic heights, a jaw-dropping orgy of absurdism, satire, horror, tragedy, comedy, and just about everything else that you can imagine. But it doesn't feel forced or indulgent, it's just that every step you take down the road of this movie takes you from what I think is a really solid Twilight Zone premise to an absolutely psychotic fever dream from which there is no escape. In the modern filmmaking era, which is really the last 50 years or so of film history, there's this idea that when a director sets out to make a movie, what they want to do first and foremost is to make a hit, a movie that makes a lot of money at the box office, or something that you talk about at the water cooler, something that you put on a Friday night and curl up on the couch to watch, whether it's a cheesy horror movie or a great comedy or a great drama. Coralie Fargeat has no interest in that kind of filmmaking. Fargeat brings the sensibilities of a director who doesn't really care whether you like or dislike the movie or what its opening weekend will be at the box office. She's a director who wants to make you feel something. What will that feeling be? Well, there's really no telling. This is a movie that is going to inspire admiration in some and absolute disgust in other people. This is going to be on some people's list of the best movies of the year and some people's lists of the worst movies of the year. Some people will thank their friends profusely for recommending the movie, and other friendships will be put in peril because of the suggestion that they go see this film. I don't know which way you're going to fall on the substance, but I will guarantee you one thing. You will not be neutral on this film. I cannot imagine anybody walking out of the substance going, I don't know. It was okay. It is not a forgettable movie. I can assure you that love it or hate it, you will always remember it. And that's what I admire so much about Coralie Fargeat. Her vision is so confident and uncompromising that her only goal is to bring that vision to the screen. She doesn't care about audience comment cards or cinema score or any of that. It's just about executing the vision that she has in mind for this story. The Substance is an act of pure, unbridled filmmaking made with the sensibility that is far more common in Europe but often feared in Hollywood, that the act of creation is superior to the act of consumption. Is The Substance extreme? Absolutely. Not in an edgy, try-hard way, but definitely in an absolutely insane way. My jaw dropped several times during the film, mainly just at the audacity of what I was seeing. If you're squeamish when it comes to blood or body horror type stuff, this is going to be a very difficult watch for you. I'm just going to say that right now. But it doesn't feel like shock value for shock value's sake. It feels like Coralie Fargeat was just willing to break out every tool in her arsenal in order to tell this story, including some dark, dark comedy. There's a cinematic reference that Fargeat uses late in the movie's runtime that to me shows that she knows exactly what she's doing. You can almost feel her smirking behind the camera, not in contempt of the audience, but basically saying, I know what I'm doing here. I understand the effect that I'm having, and it's exactly what I want to happen. And whether you like it or not, that's up to you. A recommendation for a movie like The Substance is basically meaningless because I don't think that any two people are going to walk out and have the exact same opinion on the movie. But I will say that it is one of the most fearless, confident, messed up movies that I've seen in a very long time. If you were going to put it in more modern terms, I would say that this movie goes hard, and I was there for it. I think that this is one of the most essential movies of the year, regardless of opinion, just to see the filmmaking that's on display. And for that reason, I'm giving The Substance a see it now rating with the caveat that I very much enjoyed it, but that you very much may not. So those are my thoughts on The Substance. What do you think? Does it sound like a movie you're going to roll the dice on, or does it sound like something you wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole? Let me know down in the comments below. And before we go, I want to thank the sponsor for this review, Mando. If you watch the channel, you've heard me talk about Mando, and I'll bet you've also seen the commercials on TV. So you may be asking yourself, what's all the hype? And is Mando really worth trying? And the answer is yes. Mando is a whole body deodorant, yes, your whole body, that's clinically proven to control odor for 72 hours. And it comes in 4 cologne quality scents, or unscented if you like to, walk around scentless. This time of year, it's sometimes tough to anticipate whether you're walking out the door into early fall or if there's a touch of late summer heat still hanging around. But with Mando, you don't have to worry about that because no matter how much you sweat, you won't smell. I like to do a little Mando 1-2 punch with the bourbon leather body wash mixed with a Mount Fuji stick deodorant. It gives me that perfect blend of aged cowhide and Japanese mountain. But no matter how you like to mix and match, you can do it all with the Mando Starter Pack. Mando Starter Pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like a mini body wash and deodorant wipes, and free shipping. And I do have that discount code to help you get hooked on my favorite smelling whole body deodorant on the market. New customers get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code that equates to over 40% off your starter pack. Use code DAN at shopmando.com. That's shopmando.com. Thanks to Mando for sponsoring this episode. Thanks to Mando for sponsoring the review, and thank you for watching. Be sure to stay tuned right here. I've got more movie news, reviews, box office, and more. Until next time, stay safe, and I'll see you then. Bye.